Hey, what's up guys? This is the American Tackle G2 full-length adjustable casting kit. I'm going to show you how to build it next. Stick around. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's done. This is a beautiful, super sensitive, pleasure to fish grip. This one's a little short because it was a flipping stick till a few months ago when I broke it. But they're a pain in the butt to put together if you've never seen one done. So let's get into it. Okay, I will be using the G2 Razor exposed reel seat with a 3K insert because the grip is in 3K. You got a ton of little pieces here, which is where the pain comes in because it's got a lot of stuff to put together. So you've got your rear grip. You got the handle part that meets your trigger, part of the rear grip. You got an accent trim ring. This is your adapter that goes from reel seat to the handle itself, like so. And you've got your butt cap pieces, which there's 3 of those that you gotta sort out. I gotta get my fingers working. Okay. All right, so you've got 3-piece for the butt cap. Now how this all goes together is it snaps in. We'll glue it in eventually. It goes in here like this. And you have the part that actually fits in the palm of your hand, which has this accent ring on it, which goes on here like this. And you have this adapter, which goes here. And you have the carbon fiber piece in the middle. And then we'll also do a foregrip, which looks like this. This is a completed reel seat just by itself. And we're gonna start gluing all this stuff up next. Okay, here I found my hood for the foregrip. So that is what the completed assembly with the 14 pieces or so, once you get it all together, that's what it's going to look like. But you got to do something first. This is an adjustable handle. So you could have, as it comes out of the bag, a stock length of a 12.5 trigger. This is actually going to get built a little bit shorter. This is going on a BFS rod, a 6406 NFC, which is the Swim Jig 703 medium extra fast blank, which is going to be used probably for drop shotting. But here's the problem. You get it all assembled. This piece out of the base here will not let you collapse down enough to make this handle shorter than 12.5 to the trigger. I like mine a little shorter than that. This one is for me. So I will show you how to take care of that. First thing you want to do is figure out, and I'm going to use my layout guide here that I have on my stand. All the pieces are falling apart. Typical. Okay. I pull this back together. Now my handle that I want my trigger at about 11.5. So my trigger is going to be here, which means that's going to butt to there. So I need to cut off this amount here, basically, that's sticking out. But I'm going to cut it a little deeper than that, just so I have a little room for adjustment. As long as you don't cut it way back here where you don't have enough room to put it together, you're fine. You've got a couple inches of play here, so I'm going to mark this here. That's my minimum cut. Mark that there. That would be my maximum cut. I'm going to wind up cutting it somewhere in the middle, and I will show you why when we put this on the rod. Okay, first things first here. I want to go ahead and glue the insert inside of the reel seat and let that start to set while we're working on some other pieces. So what I do is I get it lined up here pretty much. It's not flush with the tip, but it's in about 1/4 of an inch, and it doesn't come out past the recess in here, because if you let it slide past, it's going to interfere with this piece possibly in the future when you're gluing everything else up. So you just want to make sure it doesn't stick out too far. The one thing with this G2 carbon fiber material is it is extremely slick. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark the top of this piece here, and I'm going to mark the bottom of this one, and then I can sand and rough up a little bit where it's not going to show, and it'll stick together better when I use the epoxy. All right, got that sanded pretty well. Do a test fit to make sure everything fits. I didn't over sand it. Nope, everything's clean. Okay, so this is ready for glue. Now, there's several other pieces that are going to be ready for glue here too. That is, this is the Foregrip. It goes on the part of the reel seat here, and that's how it finishes. But you have to glue all this together as well. So you're going to want to sand a little bit on the outside of this aluminum, just so the aluminum will bite a little better. You want to sand the inside of this 3K cover on your Foregrip. You're going to want to sand the inside of the aluminum ring, because not only is it going to fit here and glue, it is going to also be over top of that and need to be glued. So you're going to want to sand the inside as well. Just rough it up a little bit. This is like a 20 grit cloth that I found somewhere a long time ago. Alright. Just so you can get some scratches so it's not quite so pretty. And the same thing with the outside of your knob here. It actually tightens down on the reel seat. I'm just scratching it a little bit. You don't need much, but you do need something. I mean, this two-part epoxy binds pretty well to a lot of things. But if you can just give it a little extra, it's not going to hurt it. And I've had first two that I built failed, and I had to repair them. So I'm trying to keep you guys from having to do that. So that's that part of it. And this is a spider trying to attack me. Anyway, we're going to mix up some epoxy, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got our 5-minute epoxy mixed up. I'm going to work on first is the insert inside the reel seat, which we scratched it there. Turn it. Again, I'll have some cleanup to do, but not too much if you do it this way. I'm working in the opening here. A little bit on the inside. Then we're going to do a liberal amount on the end piece here where I've scratched it also. And I'm just going to slide this baby in here. Okay, that one is glued up. We're going to set it aside. whatever, work on. Now we're gonna work on everything else. Okay. Here's how I found the easy way to do it. So first thing we're gonna do is glue the foregrip piece together. Quick coat on the inside. Quick coat on the outside. And then put it together and spin as we go. Okay, got a little bit of cleanup there to do. Okay, now I can see I got plenty of coverage because it pushed a little here on the inside, which is not a problem. But we want to be careful that we don't overdo it with this, because this joint right in here has to stay mobile. So we're going to glue up to here on the back side, but where it spins, it has to stay clear and free of epoxy or your real seat will never work. So let's get this glued up quickly. And we didn't work quick enough. Well, that cooked off faster than I expected. But it's a little warm in here in the rod shop today. It's about 100 outside. So the warmer your epoxy is, the faster it cooks off. And mix up another quick batch here. Okay, a little epoxy on the inside of the aluminum tube. Epoxy here on the outside with the actual foregrip. And you're just going to slide it on. Make sure you don't get epoxy in there. Okay, now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces glued together into two composite units now, and we're just getting started. Like I said, they're beautiful, they're great to fish, but there's a lot of parts you got to put together. These take about an hour and a half real time to put together. So we got this part. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to clean this pick before I lose it. Actually, what I think I'm going to do now, I will probably wait on that. Sometimes I will glue this in place just to have one less moving part. You know, I think I will. We'll go ahead and do that while we have epoxy available. We're going to go ahead and glue the adapter that goes from handle to reel seat, and go ahead and glue that in so it's held in place. And that's one less moving part when we go to put the actual handle system together on the blank. And that gets tricky sometimes. This should just stick it enough. I mean, it'll probably hold it forever, but it's going to wind up getting filled with paste epoxy in here anyway when we put this on the blank. But this way, we've got one less moving part. And it's time to put it all together. When we come back, we're going to cut the rear handle portion and then start mounting this on the blank. So stick around.